Episode 6. With Ashlee gone, the Paradise Island turned into a prison for Joe. Held by the local police, his passport was seized. Joe McCann was the primary suspect in a foreign land. Now there is media frenzy. Could it cost an innocent man his freedom? All while thousands of miles away in New Jersey, a grieving family refuses to stay silent. Shut out by Tanzanian authorities and facing a wall of secrecy, Ashlee's parents make a choice that would change the entire investigation. They got the American FBI involved. But would that really help? Isn't America now plagued with the same rampant corruption, bribery, and payola for pardons? Let's dive into episode 6, More Unnecessary Lies. Sit back, grab your popcorn, your drinks, your notes, and let's get going.
Every time I see a crypto guy where they dropped an investigation, I said, "You're lucky I'm president."
President Trump granted a pardon to a billionaire felon after the felon's company enriched a Trump family business.
This morning, the growing mystery surrounding the death of an American influencer while she was vacationing in Tanzania with her fiancé.
We just want the truth. We just want to know what happened.
The parents of Ashlee Robinson, known on social media as Ashlee Jenae, speaking with ABC Philadelphia station WPVI after learning their daughter died at a luxury resort in Zanzibar. It happened just days after celebrating her 31st birthday and getting engaged to her boyfriend, 45-year-old Joseph McCann.
She was happy. This is what she wanted. She was starting the next chapter of her life.
Robinson sharing the moment McCann popped the question with her more than 100,000 followers.
She FaceTimed me, showed me her ring. She's like, "Papa, I'm happy."
But according to Zanzibar authorities, after hotel guests at the Zuri Hotel reported a romantic conflict between the couple on the night of April 8th, hotel management moved McCann to a separate room about a 10-minute walk away. Well, a few hours later, authorities say Robinson was found unresponsive in her room by hotel staff, appearing to have harmed herself.
I did receive a phone call from Joe. He was not really making sense, but he told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital, and that he told me that she was stable.
After receiving treatment at 2 hospitals, Robinson declared dead on April 9th. Authorities say they're still questioning McCann and have confiscated his passport while they await the results of the medical examiner's report. McCann has not responded to ABC News' multiple requests for comment. No arrests have been made, and police previously told media outlets that McCann is not suspected of wrongdoing.
Everything he said just wasn't making sense.
Legal authority to attend. Under the Inquest Act, the coroner, or appropriately assigned authority, appointed by the minister, is responsible for holding inquests and authorizing post-mortem examinations. The law generally requires only that persons directly involved in the investigation or authorized by the coroner be present. That typically includes the coroner or investigating officer, medical practitioners, doctors, pathologists conducting the examination, witnesses who have been formally notified and given permission to attend, next of kin or legal representatives of the deceased, if they have been granted permission by the coroner or investigating authority. Practical considerations. In practice, attendance is not automatic for family members. In Zanzibar and Tanzania, families must request permission from the coroner or investigating police before being allowed to view the body or attend the autopsy. This is done to protect the integrity of the investigation and to respect cultural and legal sensitivities. In Zanzibar, only the coroner, authorized medical personnel, and individuals formally granted permission by the investigating authority, ding, 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 that would be Joe. Those are the only people that can attend the autopsy. So basically, he had his attorney or his attorney advised him to attend the autopsy. Who does that? And if he was in the United States, that wouldn't be happening at all. At all. So if you're a family member, You should contact the coroner or the investigating police to request permission before attending. He was not a family member. He was, supposedly by his own words, an ex-fiance. So he, of all people, wouldn't have legal access or requirements to be in the room other than the criminal aspect of the case. But again, he's claiming at this point to be there voluntarily. When 4/13/2026, Joe's passport is seized and he's being arrested and being held for questioning by the police. 4/14/2026, Tanzania Times reports, quote, Ashlee Robinson's boyfriend, Joe McCann, arrested over her death. U.S. Embassy sends coroner in Zanzibar for autopsy. End of quote. So Joe begins day one of 4 to 5 hour interrogations, and he does this for 5 days. So on 4/14, he's rushed to the hospital after 5 days of interrogation. He says, then an hour before my 5th interview, my blood pressure was 183/120, stage 3 hypertension, an imminent risk of heart failure, organ failure, and stroke. We had to rush to the ER to save my life. And this is when he puts up that little eerily creepy and trifling picture about if someone dies, can you die of a broken heart? Because listen to what's going to be coming up next. He says, blood pressure returns to normal once they arrive to the hospital for no apparent reason. He says he closed his eyes and hears, not yet. I have big plans for you. If you could see my face. Whew. So what are the causes of stage 3 hypertension? An online search shows, first off, hypertension is not something that develops overnight or over the course of a 13-day period, as he's implying. But it starts gradually and is due to age, genetics, obesity, high sodium diets, low intake of potassium, magnesium and calcium, physical inactivity, chronic stress, and secondary causes like diseases of the body. The assertion is that acute chronic stress is why he feels like he's dying. In a family history, but in some cases, it only escalates rapidly due to sudden increases of sodium intake or fluid volume, severe stress or illness, acute kidney injury, certain medications like decongestants, underlying vascular endocrine disease problems. It's all alluded to a chronic stress that causes Joe's physical reaction. Chronic stress, which is prolonged and persistent state of feeling pressured or overwhelmed, which can negatively both affect mental and physical health. But this is Joe we're talking about, not Ashlee, which is interesting yet again, because remember, he's asserting that Ashlee's behavior is this since March 12th, or the bin trip. But why is he so chronically stressed? Oh, that's right, that failing business. And he has children from a previous marriage that I'm pretty sure he's probably taking care of and paying heftily. So if you're losing 80%, you have to close your fund. Your fiance is expecting bigger and better gifts and life to be more expensive, more extravagant. Where that chronic stress is coming from? It still doesn't explain why he's taking the Valium. So, yes, it is alluded that the chronic stress is what's causing Joe's physical reaction. However, it is not at one time that it's mentioned about his failed business, Asymmetric, that it was forced to shut down in July 2025. Does this lend more to long-term stress? So Joe provides pictures of him texting his attorney, Costa, to update his will. So 4/21/26, Joe states and shows a picture of him getting his blood pressure taken with his phone on his lap. A doctor came to my hotel, he states. He diagnosed me with acute PTSD, stage 2 hypertension, and gastroenteritis. I couldn't sleep more than a couple of hours a night. April 27/26, Ashlee is returned to the United States, and third autopsy is completed. we have yet to have been advised or told of those results. 5/5/26, Robinson family buries Ashlee and does not allow Joe McCann to attend. However, even if he wanted to attend, the police in Zanzibar still had his passport seized. Therefore, he was not allowed to leave the country. Instead, he issues a statement at 11/11 where he's talking about he's missing Ashlee and he loves her and loves how private they were and how she fattened him up and this and that. You know, one could think, why would you wait till the day that they bury her and you not be your person non grata? I don't want you there. And so you will still release a statement and still show the world because you know everybody is waiting for you to say something. So this is when you take the opportunity to say something to potentially snatch the spotlight off of the person who actually has passed away because you want it all back on you, allegedly. So yes. So in the TMZ interview, he goes on to assert, I would never harm any woman in any way, and that includes Ashlee. Absolutely not. Ever. In any fact, her family knew this and demonstrated by a text message between Ashlee and her mom back in 2025 when Ashlee accidentally lost my credit card. Pictures 47 and 48 as proof of his nonviolence towards women. Why would he have to double emphasize that he would, quote, never harm any woman in any way, and that includes Ashlee? It's kind of weird. Okay, so next, June 12, 2026, a post titled, quote, heaven, end of post. Joe says, Ashlee couldn't tell me her pain, her trauma, her abuse, her neglect, her abandonment issues. I found out the extent of all of it after she passed. I couldn't tell you what happened until the truth came out. Okay, so let's examine that. How would he find out after she's passed away that she was abused, neglected, and had all these abandonment issues and trauma, all this pain, when the family never confirmed that they had any of these issues, never confirmed that she was suicidal, when in fact, what's funny and very, very creepy is try to Google Joe McCain's parents and see who they are and where they ended up. You'll find that there's not even funeral information on his parents. Very weird. And yet you have living people. Ashlee's mother is in another relationship. Ashlee's father is in another relationship. Everybody's happy. Everybody's doing their thing. No one's reporting any issues, but you have this white man speaking on the lives of 4 or 3, because one, I think Ashlee's mother is with a white man. So you have a white man speaking on the lives of 3 people to say that they raised Ashlee so poorly that she was abused and that the family knew these things, which is categorically false. They've never said any of these things. So he says, you will now know the truth about Ashlee Robinson, not Ashlee Jenae. The full interview with Cardiff Neff on TMZ, and gives you the link. ICannotTellYou.com, which again is very weird. You have a man that has only met this woman and been in her life for less than 2 years. So he claims to know so much about her past. By his own words, again, he learned only of this horrible and traumatic past after her death. So what is it that is so horrific and traumatic about her past? And why aren't you sharing that so we can believe you? We are not believing your words. Your timelines with an S, they're not making sense. And this is just crazy. Joe's history is that he was a DJ, and he admits, I think when he talks about the picture or the video where he talks about Ashlee loving techno music and she's dancing in front of him. So he, says that he was a DJ. So he was a DJ who went from being a DJ to a chef, and then he went from being a chef to a cryptocurrency trader. How the hell do any of those jobs fit? It sounds like he was doing a lot of couch surfing and being a bum. And he had a really rough life. He's having all these issues that he's projecting This is all allegedly, and my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. But he's projecting these issues onto Ashlee. I don't believe she had all these issues. I don't believe her life was, a walk in the park. But who's to say that it wasn't a good life? I mean, we can't assume that automatically, because she's a black woman, she had a horrible life. It's not the case all the time. However, that is exactly what's being asserted. And this goes on to this mess that this long post on June 16th. He reposted Breen Brown's Foreboding Joy. Oh my God. That could be a whole nother review and post in itself. But it basically talks about a person who goes through all these traumatic things in life, and they finally get what they want. All the success, all the love, all the money, and they don't trust it. That's the foreboding part of it. And so they don't feel that they're worthy, all these things. Again, when did he become a physician being able to diagnose her with all these issues? Joe was the one prescribed and was using Valium, not Ashlee. Where is the doctor's diagnosis for her? Could Joe be allegedly projecting his issues and insecurities onto her? I mean, seriously. So on June 17th, 2026, he posted, quote, Ashlee made her fatal choice on the night of April 8th after 3 days, which his timeline is off on that. It actually was just 2. But 3 days of heated discussions and public outbursts. Her decision was not spontaneous. Sir, it does seem spontaneous because your case is falling apart and there's too many holes in it. You're trying to make it seem like it was spontaneous, but it looks like you may have tried to plan something, allegedly, and you're trying to make it look like it was spontaneous. He goes on to say the public was misled. Oh yeah, we all think the public, we believe we're being misled. We definitely believe that we're being misled. He says it's time to set the record straight. On the night of April 7th, 2026, I fell asleep at 8 p.m. local time from exhaustion. It was the second day of managing a version of Ashlee that wasn't who she was. Public outbursts, mundane disagreements, extreme mood swings, etc. After I fell asleep, I received a text from Ashlee's mother. This was the first text I had received from her in nearly 7 weeks. And then, of course, he goes on to show the text message of them standing at what appears to be Disneyland or somewhere. We don't care. We don't need to know that the woman ain't texted you in 7 months. What is the point of that? Why would she be texting you? You dating her daughter, not her. Anyway, he continues, quote, 7 weeks prior, February 18, 2026, Ashlee and I went to New Orleans to celebrate Mardi Gras, as she had never been. Her mother and I had to exchange a photo of us together and our friends on Mardi Gras Day in the French Quarter. When I woke up around 3 in the morning, I saw her mother's text next to me. Is he okay? Like, that doesn't even make sense. That transition and logic, we flash back 7 weeks prior to Mardi Gras, and then we just don't make the connection as to why we're talking about Mardi Gras. But then he goes on to say, she says, your voicemail is full. Any changes? Hospital visits? So he tells us that he's asleep. And while he's asleep, Ashlee had contacted her mother and told her that she had took a large dose of my medication. When I woke up, I sprung into action to ensure Ashlee was okay.
Every time I see a crypto guy where they dropped an investigation, I said, you're lucky I'm president.